What's going on, everybody? I was just about to take a sip of my lovely tea. Ian Walsh, Hard Money Bankers, joined with my partner Ryan Walsh of Hard Money Bankers. What's going on, Ryan?
Yo,
We
another
survived
lovely day.
another day in the markets. So we've been doing this show every day for the last several weeks because we believe there's an underlying storm brewing in the markets, and I've been pretty vocal about it. I've been a chartist for 20 years, and a lot of people don't know that about me. Now they probably do. But
I thought it's only been 2 weeks, but we've actually been doing this for almost a month now.
Yeah,
because we were 920 is when we started doing this.
We were way ahead of this one. So, and it's just been that slow moving, train, as we discussed yesterday. It was like a big, cruise ship coming to dock, and you stand there and watch it. So
it reminds me of that Austin Powers scene, if you can remember that. The Zamboni's coming. No.
Yeah, it is like that. It is just like that. So, we've been sitting here on this chart experience because I can see things in the chart, and we kind of started pinning it down back when I saw that trend line break, and it just broke the wrong way. It just broke too hard, and I said, man, something's got to be coming. This doesn't feel right, and nobody's looking right now. And sure enough, the Evergrande thing came out, and then it was like, and then we kept following, and things started happening, gaps down, trapping, and so, when you have a correction like this in the market, you say, is this a correction? Is this a dip? Do you buy the dip? Or are we switching over to a bear market and there's much bigger things coming? I've had quite a few interactions.
Can you fix the screens? Like you got like two charts showing right now.
Yeah. So I'll explain what this chart is in a second.
Okay, sure.
So what we're doing right now is we have about a 7 to 10 day prediction from yesterday, 7 to 10 trading days. So what we're looking at is the real D-Day is the 24th of October is what this is lining up to be.
Can you make it bigger though? Like what you have on the screen is small.
So the reason I did this is because I started to we marked up this chart yesterday, and then I was like, I sat down to do the new one. I was like, I don't feel like doing all this again. So this over here is actually today's action. So I'm going to just bring up, we can commentate on kind of the craziness that ensued yesterday. So just as an overview of the chart, do you want to give a rundown on the chart so everybody can understand what's going on?
I'll try to make it quicker each time, right? So the big yellow circle on the bottom there, that was when we started the show. That's 9/20, September 20th. That was when those Evergrande news came out. And we just noticed a lot of money moving. You don't see a giant red bar there, but that black space between bars, you can mentally fill it in a red bar. It means that day was very red, very massively red.
Red means sellers. Red means fear.
The market went down big time. So we started watching it, seeing what's going on. And as Ian said, he's a chartist, so he's only looking at price, not even really looking at news. But as we were looking at this chart, we started noticing all this news, and we compare ourselves to weathermen here. We're not predicting what's going to happen. We're simply saying, hey, there's a hurricane here. If it starts going inland, be ready. And in addition to that, you'll see this triangle that we've put together. And that is the pressure point of these storms, meaning there's buyers and sellers having a battle right now. And at some point, it's going to come to a head, which is the triangle that we have there. And if that happens, be ready for all those storms we've been talking about: the China bond market, Evergrande competitors, supply chain, gas, the debt ceiling, and anything else we haven't even mentioned yet. So I think that's a quick recap. How'd I do?
Good, yeah. So, and we're just some of the other notes on here. So Mark Weiser's been watching our show. He's at Walmart right now buying rice after our show yesterday. I'm not kidding. He emailed me.
Nice.
So Mark, I hope you get a lot of rice. Yeah. Worst case scenario, you're gonna have a lot of rice to eat, and in a good up market, if I'm wrong.
It lasts for 5 years, so you'll use it eventually.
Yeah. So Mark Weiser, though, he pointed out a couple of things that I didn't really know. Like, I was just doing this from a charting perspective, what stood out to me watching the markets. But Mark all of a sudden chimed in and goes, hey, stock market crash was October 24th, 1929. And I can tell you this much: the market has memory. And it's the only way I can explain it. It's like your cells and your DNA has memory. The market has memory. which is what a support and resistance line is. It's where positions are held, but things happen similar on different days. So is there a self-fulfilling prophecy of the October 24th coming into play? Because Ryan then yesterday said, draw a line. We hadn't done this yet. So Ryan said, draw a line from the 24th on your triangle. So boom, we drew a line on the 24th and we were both like, oh my gosh, it's like right on this was not intentional. This came right to the point of the triangle. And then Mark said,
we drew the triangle weeks ago.
Yeah. And then we just drew the 24th yesterday. I didn't even think of it. And then Ryan said, and then we drew a line. And Mark said, Black Monday was the 18th of October. So actually, that would be the holiday of that holiday. The remembrance of that would be this coming Monday, Tuesday. I think would be like 18th.
Monday's
Sunday.
the 18th. So 18th, I believe, is the equivalent.
Oh yeah. So Monday would be. Yeah. Why did I think it was the 19th? So the 18th would be 18th would be this Monday, right? So,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that would be here. So anywhere at this point, as this compresses, as this triangle comes narrower and narrower, you're looking at it's basically you're just caging an animal and you're pushing it into a corner, right? And it's getting more and more frantic and it's getting more and more, there's less and less room to make money, to trap people. Something has to occur to break free of that compression, of that tension. So if you're a bull, if you have a bullish outlook, you're betting long here, saying, okay. And then in order for that to be the case, to be significant, you have to get beyond this is your battle line. So bulls want to get beyond this with a close and bears want to get beyond this with a close. And if you're a bear and you close under this, you officially make a down pivot in the market. And that down pivot would, that would signal a bear run is happening. And Ryan had a good comment this morning, and we talked about this head fake here. That was something else. We had called this head fake well in advance, saying triangles like head fakes. You could see a move up, ripped up to the backside of this trend line here, and then came back down. And the reason I just did the chart here, this is where we are essentially today. Ryan, are we even lower than this right now? We might even be more red than this. Right now.
It's actually been floating since we've been.
Okay, so it's a little sideways.
There. Yeah, it's about there. Mm-hmm.
So. Here was your head fake. It pulled back in, and now the sellers are going to make a charge, and they're going to go after they're going to come down here and make their move. We're going to see what the sellers want to do. Now, if it's a bullish scenario, or we really in an uptrend, they will head fake this and then bring it back through the highs, right? They're going to bring it back past this number here. So as a betting man with the fundamentals in the background, I don't think they might bring it back up, but in fact, I think probably what will honestly happen is you're going to get a pretty serious fake down here that's going to scare the daylights out of everybody, and then all of a sudden you're going to see our viewership go up because everybody's going to want to see what's going on. But I don't know that we're going to get the breaking of this line down here, of this bar down here, until the cat's out of the bag. So, you really need to cross this line. That's 1,000 points away. I mean, it's possible to do it in tomorrow or Friday. It's possible, but you need to break this line. So I think you're going to have a scare, and then you're going to have, something else that's going to be visually forming right now. That as I just look at this chart, this is also forming. So when you have confluence of patterns as a pattern chartist, then that's not just what I look at, but it adds confluence. So when you have a pattern in the market, it means other players are looking at that. So they have trigger points where money comes into the market that is worth looking at, right? So a triangle, for instance, as we've noticed, there was a lot of activity up here. These are trigger points in the market for money. People sit up in their seat and they go, okay, something's happening. I should put a trade in because I've been waiting for this triangle to fill and I've been waiting for this to happen. Well, when you have multiple patterns at the same time forming, not just on multiple time frames, but on one time frame, you have multiple trigger points for more money to follow. So what's happening right now, as I look at that, I didn't even really think about this until right now, but you have also a double top forming, which makes this line right here significant, this across of this line. So what you could have happen at this point is you have a triangle. So anybody watching the triangle sees the triangle. They know they're waiting for their areas. But you're going to have a double down effect when you go to my red circle, to that line right there. And that double down effect is going to go, okay, all the people watching for the double top, that are, you know, looking at positions, they're going to go, okay, it's time to act. You know, they're going to have a trigger down there. Some people already got in early up here on their double top because they're, you know, the way they trade, maybe they're looking for any kind of failure up here. It's where the start of the double top is. The second point in the double top is going to be right here, which is where more money will come in. And then typically what you'll see at that point is a pretty hard push. So you have the triangle players that we've been watching now for a month here, and we've just formed a double top. So you have two significant patterns popping in as in a bearish fashion. That's a lot of weight. We're going to hear new, and Ryan, I think you said it, you know, you messaged me this morning and said, hey, are we looking at, you know, a Friday rundown and then, you know, Monday concern, you know, kind of thing. So my answer is, this really looks like it. This looks like, to me, like between now and Monday, expect some carnage. And even though there's an individual that, I don't know if you're reading some of the comments, right, on our show. There was an individual guy that I think he might have been a little fired up about our show, saying that, you know, I'm a doom and gloom fear factor kind of guy, like trying to scare everybody.
Sure.
Like, this is for entertainment. This is not investment advice. And I'm just stating what I see. I'm not a doom and gloom, even though Nathan Krauthammer will tell you I am. I would love to be completely wrong, have this entire pattern fail, the triangle goes back up, and we go out and above, straight over this, back to all-time highs, and everybody can just sit back and hit the cruise control again. Believe me, I don't want, like, what the implications of a crash here are. I don't want to deal with it. Are you kidding me? Like, I have real money in the real estate market. I have real money in the stock market. So, you know, I don't want to see it, but I can't stop it. Like we said, we're watching that Zamboni. So what do you make of it?
I mean, that's like saying the weatherman's doom and gloom. Like, it's you know, of course they're going to, when they see clouds, they're going to say, hey, I'm seeing clouds, right? It's literally their job. So, you know, that's all it is. You know, we're not saying the market is crashing. We're saying, watch this storm. You know, if it comes inland, you know, it could be. But, you know, hopefully it doesn't come inland. It just blows out to sea and we get some winds. You know, you just count this as winds that we're feeling right now. But it's, you know, kind of a no damage done when we get out of this. So, you know, I mean, part of it is also experiencing 2008, right? I mean, like, it does happen. You know, to think it can't happen is, you know, a bit ignorant. You know, it's only, even during COVID, right? I mean, we say it all the time. Like, there is some real fear for a good 2 months there of, you know, just that oh shit feeling. You know, I mean, from a real estate lending perspective, it was anybody who was trying to get a loan. You know, we're kind of the only ones with our doors still open. Not trying to sell ourselves right now, but that it is what it is, because there was a huge freeze from institutional funding, right? Because it came back, and it came back fast, and then the market, you know, the situation with COVID had people moving. Like the pandemic actually caused real estate, specifically real estate, to get better. But it could have been any other industry. You know, I mean, there were some other industries like the fabric makers. You know, they made it a ton off that. But there was other industries that got crushed. Restaurant industries, right? So they don't have the same experience as COVID, and they do know that it can happen, right? And you know, that's all it is. We just want people to, you know, board up your windows when a storm's coming, right? You don't want to be that person that ignored the weatherman, didn't evacuate, and now your island's flooded, right? And you don't have any protection.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, there's just no. I mean, what are you gonna do, right? I mean, all I'm saying, like, literally, all the average person can do, all anybody can really do. You're not gonna go out by Friday and build your you know, your safety bunker. Like, you know, you're going to go out, maybe buy some water, get your toilet paper, maybe give yourself a few weeks lead time. Like, I'm just, you know, go ahead and do that. If you want, you know, if not, that's cool too. That's all. There's, what else are you going to do? I'm not, even if I scare the daylights out of you, what are you going to do about it? You know, I'm not trying to promote fear at all. It's not really my style.
And we definitely don't do this show. Like, we're not, Ian and I don't have a goal to, like, make this our new career, right? So
No.
like, not our intent by any means. We're doing this simply because we're seeing a storm, and it's a very topical topic for us because we're in real estate and we're lenders. So we are very cautious about price moving because that can impact the real estate market.
Yeah, and something we've been. So I think the other part of this is as the storm's been brewing, like our day to day, each day we've been more and more right about. So like every day that we show back up to the show, if you've been watching, we've been correct. Like daily, we've been making calls on this. So like as it adds up, we're just like, all right, the storm's doing everything we said it was going to do. So, so far it hasn't done really much that we haven't thought of. Kingsley Harmer says, rent a skid loader and dig a ditch. Yeah. Hey, if you want to do it by Friday or Monday, go for it. I mean, we're saying the cat is likely out of the bag within the next 2 weeks. So that's, and I'm not kidding. I would love to come back. I'm like, this isn't a right or wrong thing. Like, or if you want to say it's right or wrong, you want to say, I'm saying it's going to be a bear market and I'm wrong. That's fine. Like, I have no problem being wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong all the time. I'm just saying there's a storm that, people are seeing. And I think it's coming, the things that we're looking at now. I don't know if Rye, your headlines that you look at, but more and more people like the supply chain thing. So Jeremy Reed popped on our show. Nothing, Mark. We gave you your props properly. Mark says, what did I miss? No, we said Mark's at Walmart buying rice. And we gave your props for 1987 and the crash of the 24th and the triangle. And I drew up a new triangle just a little bit today because we also have a compounding pattern for bears, which is a double top plus a triangle. So your action points where money will come into the market. You had some that came in up here on the failure of the triangle, and you have some that's going to come in down here on the bottom of this, in the middle of this double top. This is a pivot point and the market's heading towards it. So that's where we are right now. And I was just saying, so a few weeks ago, Jeremy Reed came on our show and said, hey, supply chain stuff. And that really hadn't been on the show yet. And then all of a sudden, nobody really knew anything about supply chain issues. And then there was like the pictures of the cargo bays and this and that. And it's just been leaking out ever since. Right now, everybody, you could say supply chain anywhere. And just about anybody in America could tell you, yeah, we're having these supply chain issues. Wait, Christmas is going to take a long time, right? So, but I think it's much bigger than that. I think we're also seeing a lot more information about they're calling it an energy crisis now across the world. They're saying, is the U.S. going to escape the energy crisis? Because other countries are in some areas of other countries are in dire need of like energy shutting down, electricity and stuff. All this stuff is like the cloud is like expanding as it comes inland, and people are seeing it more clearly because they're just premeditating sending the news out. So what do you make of that stuff, Rye?
Yeah, I mean, it feels just like COVID, right? That cloud is perfect, right? It's the epicenter was China, I guess. And it even on this one, again, it's China. I'm not trying to say it's China, like blame China. I'm just saying like the cloud is forming from there, going out. Now it's in Europe, just how COVID happened. And US is just kind of watching. I just read an article literally saying we're going to be fine. Like US will not be touched by this. And in my head, I'm just like, man, that's a bold claim to throw out there, right?
Yeah. Hey, okay. I mean, I don't want to say great, we're fine. And then like the rest of the world has to suffer. Like that sucks too. It's just like my comment about COVID and like malaria. I'm like all of Africa, 2 million people die a year in malaria. Like that sucks. That's horrible. But we're not up in arms about it. For why? Because it has to affect the people that control wealth. That's when. So that's how we react as a society, and it's pretty crappy. But
yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, yes and no. I mean, everyone's got to handle their own business, right? I always say take care of yourself first before you take care of others, right? So it's not like we're making it worse for them, right? Like so I think that's the big difference. You can go all the way back to World War II, right? Kind of America sat on the sidelines for a lot of it, and then Pearl Harbor happened. We said, hey, wait a second, let's do something about it, right? So I mean, it's just kind of how it goes. I'm sure Europe would be, if something was going on in Europe, they're not going to be like, hey, send all of our lifeboats, right? They're going to be like, I don't know, US will figure it out. And for the most part, the world does, right? We all kind of handle our own issues.
Yeah, I feel like we have a responsibility to the world as the U.S. to some degree, but because the world, I've noticed this. I have friends in other countries and stuff, and like they know more about our politics and what's going on in our country than they do. Like that is like the center of influence of like their day. And I'm like, why do they care? I mean, part of it's because like we're a soap opera and like we're like a dramatic show and like we're entertaining. But part of it is like we do have a responsibility to not bully the rest of the world. And I don't know. As far as Kingsley Harmer says, have you unloaded all your stocks and crypto for cash? No, I don't know the cash. I don't really know the real value of cash anymore. Like what that's really going to be in the event that it happens. So I have a little bit of everything, I think is the best way to say it. Because I don't really know. You kind of throw a bunch of lines in the water, and if one of them catches and you have one that's in there, but no, I don't know. Cash could be worth a whole lot or a whole little. I don't really think that cash is going to all of a sudden increase in value. There's a whole lot, including inflation and stuff like that, that says that it's not. But
I mean, I think something you said to me, which is probably resonates a lot with the people who may be watching this show, is I'm glad I have investments in real estate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if this takes a year, 2 years, whatever it is, you're kind of stable on that physical asset.
You at least secured yourself, whether you have to go in with cash and come out, with crypto on the back end. You might not be able to get out for 6 months, and by that time they might be like, well, everything's in crypto. Okay, well, cash my real estate out into crypto then, or whatever it may be. So you at least have like an actual asset to sink your teeth into that you've secured yourself against. If laws and all that stuff even matter when it's all over, I don't even know. Like, documents matter anymore? I like, do contracts matter? I have no idea.
Yeah, but to Kingsley's point, like there's definitely going to be people who are making moves right now financially, whether it's into crypto, out of crypto, into stocks, and not, and then they come out and then they're that headline you read, oh, self-made millionaire, they just did XYZ. It's like, but for every one of those, there's 10 people that got crushed and lost everything. So definitely interesting times ahead of us with that.
Yeah. So I think the market right now that we need to just keep an eye on is like kind of what we just spotted on the show that I just that didn't even really pay a whole lot of attention to is so the double top, just so everybody's aware, is like literally when the market goes up and then it tries to go up again and it can't. Here's like an example of one that right before that could be interpreted as one right before this drop here. And this would be the equivalency of your line down here. So once we cross this line, so it was the same effect, right? So this was also, I don't know, I don't have it on this chart, but this was also your trend line, the big major trend line. So you have this big major trend line coming up, then you have this double top that forms. So you had 2 pressure points. There's a lot of pressure here on the market to go down because you had anybody watching for a double top that didn't come in up here. They came in right here on this line. And they also, anybody that was looking at this trend line said, man, we're going to attack that pretty hard. So we've already attacked recently a major trend line and lost. The bulls lost on a double top. Very similar scenario right here. It's the same thing. You have a double top. Here's your early entry up here, but you have a pressure point, a compression point down here, which is on this triangle. So you're going to have anybody watching for the double top that didn't catch this up here, and anybody watching the triangle, they're equally going to put their money in. That's their trigger point because they're likely what they're doing from a patterns standpoint. If you're a big institutional chartist or whatever. So your stop loss would be typically over this high here, and your entry is down here, and this is your risk. Your risk is everything in between here. And then you're going, okay, we're going down. So whoever it was, in this trade up here, their risk was essentially right here. And I know this is getting messy, but that's how a chartist is looking at that. And if you were playing this trend line here, your stop is also over this high likely. So those are the places where you're really concerned in terms of, here's your stop, here's your risk. They're places for the market to enter. And because of that, that's just, if you ever, you can look at on a chart, they have time and sales or volume. So, Ryan, I don't know if you have volume up on your screen right now on the daily. Do you?
Yeah.
On the daily?
On the daily, yeah.
Okay, you want to share your screen real quick? I just want to see what kind of commitment we have. So volume means how many players are in the market at a moment. The real volume we want to see is market profile because it displays volume vertically as opposed to horizontally. So horizontally we display the volume here, so it would tell you how much is in an entire bar from top to bottom, whereas market profile or volume profile would show it from left to right, so you can see exactly at the price what volume went off as opposed to the range of price. But we can still get an indication of the volume on. Do they have volume profile in your chart, man?
I'm not sure.
It would be under indicators. If there's a volume profile.
I'm going to share here. You let me know what we're looking at.
Okay. Let me know when that screen comes up, and I'll just see what we're doing from here.
All right. Should
Okay,
see it.
got it. Yeah. All right. So this is volume, and this looks like our triangle looks like. Can you draw some lines? Let's draw the triangle in real quick, right, so people can kind of see.
Maybe.
Either back it out a little bit.
Excellent. There goes my cap cover.
Just scroll out. Tech support.
We need tech support here.
There you go. So we're going to look at the, there's a lot of volume going off in this area now, huh? In this entire move, there's a lot of volume compared to the last.
Is this the triangle from?
Yeah, from right there. Yeah, from right there to right there. Yep. Yeah, there you go. It's my fault. I should have had this ready for the show. Okay, so if you look at the actual where the head fake was on this triangle, no, yeah, right there. So the head fake, those 3 bars up, look how little volume there was compared to the other bars down. So you can see that there was just no commitment to the upside on the breakout to the top side there. There was just no volume commitment. And now look at that neck where volume started to come in again after those 3 bars right there. Yeah. So that was on the red day coming off that head fake. So now there was some increase in volume coming downwards. So there's some commitment moving down right now. And I'll be curious to see how much volume we get out of today in general. If we get a lot of volume, that means a lot of participation in the downward move here. And you can obviously see on the bottom of that triangle, we have a ton of volume overall. In each, right, go bar by bar on the bottom of the triangle where all the volume is, the left, I'll go left about 5 bars. Yeah, starting right there. So let me see, 1, 2, 3. It's hard to tell. It looks like there was the majority. I don't know. There was definitely a war there. You can see the green up bar finally had some volume there, but until then it was getting hammered by the red bars were really the volume heavy bars followed by weaker green bars. But that push up to that head fake seems to have brought some volume in. So there's some positions there. You know, there's positions trapped under that green high volume bar, which is under the triangle, which is what we're looking at. So if that gets taken out, there's some big positions there that are either going to have to liquidate or reverse or take their medicine. But right now in terms of volume, there's a good bit of volume in the market right now happening. So yeah, I think that's about everything for today. It's kind of a lot of activity and action. So we're looking at the double tops. We're looking at the double top triangle, the fundamentals, supply chain, energy crisis, gas, debt ceiling. Keep your eyes on the news. And as we finally funnel in, we're still waiting for.
I mean, every day your blue bars are getting more and more filled out. Yeah, but they're getting filled out, right? Like,
what do you mean?
You can take away a blue bar or one of your drawn blue bars and fill it with the red bar because that's what happened right now.
Yeah,
but we still have the rest of the day to go, so maybe it could still go green. So, but it is in that triangle right now.
Yeah, we are still in this triangle for sure. And compressing. It's just going to stay in here because in order to get out, in order for it to alleviate that pressure, it has to break out of the triangle. It will not do that without real news or real insight or real volume. It just won't do it. I've just seen a billion triangles. Like there's too much compression in there. It doesn't just get, well, no, I don't want to say that. It could just drift. It could go into this weird. So every now and then you see a triangle that kind of breaks out in a drift where it just makes these like small board, nobody's watching bars. Like it kind of just fades off into the sunset with no like purpose. Pretty rare to see that though. And
I don't think that would. Yeah, that wouldn't match the volume, right? That we've seen positions put in.
That's not the kind of triangle we're looking at here. That's more of like when you kind of see like on a lunch break or something, or like a holiday so on a holiday you might see like a triangle just kind of drift off into outer space like on the daily because nobody's playing.
Maybe summertime.
Yeah, same thing. So all right, so we will be back tomorrow and we will keep an eye on what happens today and next 5 days. Yeah. All right, sounds good. See you right.
Go. See ya.